have been speaking out about it, Reggie Miller, Charles Oakley, et cetera. Stephen A., where are you right now on the Knicks and the Spike Lee situation?
I'm pissed off.
Why?
Over the last few hours, dating back to last night, Max, I've been getting some text messages, and especially since we were on Get Up this morning. The New York Knicks are in protective mode when they're like, it's not about race involving Spike Lee and what have you. It's a very diverse organization. Don't y'all even try it. Max is not saying that. I am not saying that. There's nobody that brought up race when it came to Spike Lee and what happened with him the other day in trying to enter Madison Square Garden. For the record, I have been on this show, Max Kellerman, and I have said this on numerous occasions. Dolan has an excellent reputation with black folks. Hiring folks.
Brought it up yesterday.
Exactly. He hires black folks. He takes care of a lot of players and other people that work within Madison Square Garden. The organization is very diverse. Let me be the first to say the New York Knicks do not have an issue with race. Nobody said that. The issue with the New York Knicks is not about race. It's about an owner who comes across as incompetent, petulant, petty, vindictive, and beyond. And it doesn't matter who it is, especially people like Spike Lee, who have supported his organization. And we got a whole bunch of people, even some in the media, who are acting like damn idiots, literally misconstruing almost on purpose what Spike Lee is saying. Oh, he deserves preferential treatment. Although I had a couple of executives call me last night and said, if Spike Lee wanted to come through the roof, you create a hole in the roof to let him in the arena. When the man spends $300,000 a year on one ticket, when he spent over $10 million, when he's patronized and promoted your brand when it didn't even deserve to be promoted over 2+ decades, you take care of him. But that's neither here nor there. Here's the point. At the end of the day, it wasn't about Spike Lee seeking preferential treatment. He didn't, according to Spike Lee, he did not receive an email or a voicemail or a phone call saying, excuse me, you now need to come through this entrance. He's saying that the Knicks are lying. The Knicks haven't shown us any proof that they had communicated that to Spike Lee prior to him entering the arena the other night. Folks are out there acting like Spike Lee got this information, ignored it, and said, excuse me, the hell with the New York Knicks and their policy. I want to come through the same entrance I've been coming through 28 years. What he's pointing out was, excuse me, no one informed me. So why would you treat me, to use his words, got security waiting for me once we get to the 5th floor, like I just stole something from Macy's? Those were his words. And at the end of the day, if you're the New York Knicks and you elect to treat somebody this way, who is such a loyal patron of yours, what does that say about you? There is history, and last night, the New York Knicks got rid of some people who were chanting Dolan to sell the team. We already know what he did with Charles Oakley. We know now what happened with Spike Lee. Who the hell is next? You did this on the day that Leon Rose was named president of basketball operations. It's not about race. It's about the fact that you have an owner who is so petty that he ends up sullying his own brand in the news. And the problem is that the day after you did that to Spike Lee, or a few days after Spike Lee came in here, you got a whole bunch of black folks at the game yesterday, and we're saying, you're the one making it about race now because you're trying to act like that's what other people think about. Nobody's thinking about that, Max. We're thinking about your behavior in terms of the paranoia that you exercise that has trickled down to security and media relations and everything else. The Garden is a damn mess. Get your damn act together. Stop being a national damn embarrassment. That's the issue. Go ahead, Max.
I have one message for Dolan. Sell the team. Sell the team. Everyone wants you to sell the team. No one wants you to own the Knicks. And by the way, that must include the NBA, because it's bad for business when the #1 market, the largest market, is being destroyed by the incompetence of the owner. And you're right, the pettiness. Imagine Harry Carson being escorted by security from Giants Stadium You think the Maras would ever do that? Yeah,
Never.
You think the Steinbrenners would ever take Greg Nettles and make sure that he couldn't sit there and enjoy? Like, that's who Charles Oakley is, a heart and soul stalwart of the franchise for years and years. And he's, by the way, for what? For sitting there and hanging out with his friends at a game? Because Dolan thinks maybe that Oakley thinks he should sell the team, as most people do. Here's my problem, Stephen A., and it's with Spike Lee, and it's with you, Molly, and it's with you. And it's with all the fans that continue to patronize the Knicks. You guys all got it wrong with me. You thought I sold the Knicks out because I don't like them anymore. No, it's because I came to my senses years back and realized as long as Jim Dolan owns the team, it's hopeless. So I thought, you know what? Until he owns the team, I'm done. When Spike Lee sits here and you say, are you done with the Knicks? And he says, this year, I'll be back next year. No, Spike, what does that do this year? So you see, why would you come back next year? Spike, you got to stay away. And as I keep telling everyone, for decades, they were the only game in town. That's why they were both the heritage franchise, as the Giants and Yankees are, and the clown franchise, as the Mets and Jets are, right? They were both. Because there was no competition. They're running unopposed. The Nets are in Brooklyn. The Nets are competently run. They were a good organization before they got Kyrie and KD. You know what it's going to be like in Brooklyn next year? Spike Lee, who is from Brooklyn, who ups Brooklyn even more than he ups the Knicks in his films going back 35 years right now. Synonymous with the borough. Somehow, because we all have it in our blood in New York, Knicks, orange and blue.
Because they would only get basketball.
Because they were what I'm trying to tell everyone who roots for the Knicks is until Dolan sells the team, a team grows in Brooklyn. It's the Nets. You have a choice. But if you continue to patronize the Knicks, I don't want to hear complaints about Dolan.
You know what I have? You know what I'm sitting here worried about? And you know me, I'm like Spike. I've been a lifelong Knicks fan. And I've never jumped ship. You know what I sit here worried about today? Leon Rose may end up doing a good job because all he's got to do is get some players. Mm-hmm. Remember, he was representing Karl Anthony Towns, Devin Booker, and those guys. What if those two ended up coming to the Garden, for crying out loud? Think about the future that the New York Knicks would have. What I'm trying to say is that if somehow, some way, Leon Rose, World Wide West, William Wesley, and others, if they end up getting the talent to the Garden, okay, and the New York Knicks actually start winning games, that will disguise and gloss over the pettiness of James Dolan. Because who'll be talking about that then? Mm-hmm. This man will actually get to hide. But I'm telling you right now, you can walk to any arena, okay? You can go on the basketball court. You can shake hands with players and, talk. If you're a member of the media, you can do it. You go to the Garden, you got media relations people running out telling you got to go upstairs. They got the press damn near towards the ceiling, for crying out loud. They panic over everything. Spike Lee is not exaggerating. You have security folks who are great people. There's
Love
not
the security guys at the Garden.
They're the best.
Guys.
They're the best. They are literally scared. If somebody is in the news because of how critical you are of James Dolan, if James Dolan saw one of them talking to you, I don't know what would happen to them. I'm telling you right now, this was a couple of years ago because I haven't really been there only about 2 or 3 times since because I'm so disgusted. I want to vomit every time I watch them play. The bottom line is this. I had players literally scared to be seen talking to me. I had players that were scared that their phones were being tapped. I don't know whether that's true or not. They didn't know whether that was true or not, but they actually said they had that kind of fear. The level of paranoia that exists with the New York Knicks is so alarming, so uncomfortable. And if you really, really think about what the NBA is and what it stands for and the global iconic brand that it is and how it has grown and proliferated in the mind's eye of the public everywhere, globally, this man and what has been transpiring at Madison Square Garden has comprehended everything that the NBA has tried to stand for. It is a problem. And somebody needs to step in to somehow rein this kind of pettiness in. And I don't take any pleasure in it because you know me, Max. I have refrained from going in on James Dolan because I'm like, he's an owner, he cuts the check. Other guys got to do their job, so be it. But the pettiness that he finds himself in, and particularly the inopportune times, the level of idiocy and petulance that this man is engaged in. To have this happen on the day that Leon Rose is officially introduced as the president of basketball operations. I mean, that's all you need to know. It is a problem. It is a problem, and I'm telling you right now, somebody better do something about it.
We've had Jeff Garland.
And I don't, you know me, I'm a Knicks fan. I don't give a damn if I go back. I ain't been in the Garden all year because I'm so disgusted.
We had Jeff Garland from Curb Your Enthusiasm on our show, I don't know how many months ago now. I remember when he said Walter Payton was more loved in Chicago than Michael Jordan. We debated that and everything. And there's a recent Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David, obviously, that talks about a character who finally couldn't take it anymore with the Jets. And he said in a little bit the Knicks. And I was wondering when I watched the episode, like, it's mainly actually the Knicks give you more heartache and agita than the Jets. And I realized it's because at least the Jets, even the Jets, might give you hope because you have a young quarterback or something that maybe it could turn around. The Knicks really don't give you any hope.
To me,
the Knicks don't give
they're
you any
still
hope.
the number one franchise in the NBA.
That's
$4.7 billion.
That's because it's a real. Franchises are real estate deals.
Yes.
If you own the Garden,
still,
if you're in the middle of
Manhattan,
Manhattan,
number one in the NBA. We can't deny that. And winning does cure all. So if they got real players,
any team in Manhattan with the New York market for a TV deal, and that real estate deal is going to be the highest valued franchise.
He's right, Molly. Because
they are.
Because Dolan owns everything.
Just like the Cowboys in football.
Yeah, because you're able to lump everything in. But I'm telling you right now, it's a problem, man. It is a problem. And you talk about them and you talk about the fashion in which you talk about them. It's just awful to see, and it's flat out depressing. I'm telling you right now, and when you bring up the Jets, here's the difference. You got to remember, because it's a 16-game season, first 8 weeks of the season, you don't know what's going to happen because it's football.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that helps.
Basketball, you know from jump.
The New York Knicks is 82 games, and you also know from jump. And the Knicks...
The Jets aren't the heritage franchise.
Molly,
the Giants are.
Molly, the Knicks let us know in November.
Right.
Don't look
Stephen A. and Molly, but I want to just check
year.
something right now. So you're both doing it again. You're like, well, if they only got some players, maybe Leon Rose. We just played this out with KD and Kyrie. It's never going to happen. They will never put together a championship team in New York. Maybe they could get a guy to help them make the playoffs.
Even just based on these poor records, they're going to get guys in the draft.
And they will never put together a championship team as long as Dolan owns the team.
But my problem is what I'm saying is worse, because I'm saying